Welcome to Ilagan Whiteboard Friday, where we look at complex legal and compliance issues in a simple to do way. This series is brought to you by Ilagan, your partner and provider of end-to-end business services.
Hello and welcome to Ilagan Whiteboard Friday, where we look at various legal and compliance related issues in a user-friendly manner. Today we will look at something called terms of service or terms of use. So this is a document or it's a kind of an agreement which actually defines your relationship with all your online users. This is applicable only for online businesses where you don't know where the users would be coming in from. And typically it's applicable more for a place or a website which offers multiple activities over the website. If it is just like a static website kind of thing where you give information, then this document may not be very important. But if you are having something, for example, an e-commerce business or a SaaS-based solution, wherever users are transacting or uploading content or sharing info, then or an application, then this is a very crucial document. We recommend talk to an expert to get your terms of service or terms of use done. It's not a great idea to copy and paste from some related competitors because every business model is very different. And this is a kind of an agreement which actually governs the complete relationship between your users and the company. So, and I know problems don't come oftenly, but whenever it comes, how strong this document is will protect the company accordingly. So let's look at what all things it should consist of. So generally you give a license to use your website to the user. So you define various terms like you are giving a license, what should be the age requirements. If, for example, they need to be an adult or 18 years or older. Few applications may even allow access to kids but under a parental supervision. So a similar requirement, what should be the user age, gender and all you should specify, and what would be the terms of your licensing. So that is what you cover in this section. Then acceptable use. Acceptable use is something like what is the expected user behavior when they are coming onto your website, what all things you expect. Like you expect them to follow, you expect them not to breach any copyrights if they copyright something and post a content on your website. So those ownerships you give it to the user itself, the company does not own that. So those are some examples of acceptable use. Terms and conditions, this is much more detailed as to what all things you can do. For example, an e-commerce website, so how people would come, what all things like they can compare, they can shop, they can do the transactions, what would be the refund process, what would be the delivery timelines. So those are the things, general timelines of delivery, how the delivery would happen, what would be the responsibility at each stage, how the customer support would work, how the refund process would be there. So that's the place where you should consider, you should include these things. And there are restrictions, it's an important clause, so you can actually, based on the user behavior, you can actually restrict access of specific user to whole of the website, or you can restrict access to some of the specified areas of website. Even without any user behavior, like there would be some sections which is only for admin use, so those rights you are not giving a complete license to the whole website. So those kind of what are the restrictions that you are imposing and what could possibly come in is the place to mention. And details about user content, if you are giving facility for a lot of users to upload their content, so what would be the ownership, as we discussed, things like say they should not infringe any copyrights, no porn materials or things like that, or no offensive explosive content should be there. So those kind of restrictions, what they should be able to upload, what care they should take while uploading their content, and what would be the responsibility of the company with related to those content would be defined in the user content section. Almost all websites use a lot of third-party information, data analytics, infrastructure to give a complete service. So this section should cover what would be your role and what precautions users should say. Suppose while browsing your website, if I click on a link which actually takes to a third-party website, then what is your roles and responsibilities? Generally, you don't own any of the data, and you recommend users to go through those third-party providers' terms of service or privacy policy before actually accessing any of the third-party link or the data. And the liability definition, what kind of liabilities, if something goes wrong, what would be the maximum liabilities the company should be accountable for, or what would be the liabilities of the user, what could be the liabilities of the user. So those things you should cover under the liability definition. Then you should always, if you are a great corporate, then you should always give a grievance resolution process. So in case of any grievance, what would be the process to be followed, whom to contact, how to contact. And then it should also contain a lot of other legal things, like in case if a statutory body approaches company for certain set of information, and if they are like governed by the law, then what informations you can share, what would be your role. So those are the things that you should consider while drafting your terms of service. It's an important legal document, so it's always advisable to take an expert help and then do it. That's it here. Feel free to drop us an email at support@ilagan.com, or you can also visit our knowledge base at ilagan.com/kb. Thank you.